Hey guys, Brad Gilmore here. Want to give a big shout out to our title sponsor, Walker Texas Lawyer. If you or a loved one have been injured in an accident, whether that be a car, truck, motorcycle accident, or some kind of other issue, hit up Walker Texas Lawyer at 713-552-1117 or walkertexaslawyer.com.
Oh, Brad, what have you done now?
Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. TV host, best-selling author, and radio personality Brad Gilmore brings you a collection of conversations with stars from movies.
Matthew McConaughey.
Brad Gilmore.
Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, how are you?
The legendary Mr. Christopher Lloyd. Christopher, how are we doing?
I'm doing good. Great introduction.
Jessica Alba and Lizzie Mathis. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Kevin Costner joins us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Television.
Jimmy Fallon joins us this morning. Jimmy, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I appreciate this, bud.
Kelly Ripa.
Brad, thank you for having me.
Comedy.
Jay Leno joins us. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Brad, what's going on?
Chris Tucker is in the building. Chris Tucker, good morning to you.
Hey, Brad, good morning to you. How are you?
George Lopez joins us right now. George, how are you doing, sir?
Good morning.
Music.
Lola Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The legendary frontman of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, joins us right now. Brian, how you doing?
Good morning, Brad. What looking to talk, you me funny lad.
Megan Trainor.
Thank you so much, Brad. You're awesome.
Chloe Bailey joins us. I appreciate the time.
Appreciate you.
And more. This is The Collection. Now your host, The Boat.
Brad Gilmore! Well, we've been talking about it, and she's actually here now to discuss ghosts and all other things. Rebecca, how are you?
I'm delighted to join you, Brad. Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for agreeing to do this. You know, congratulations on the success of Ghost, first and foremost. First of all, you know, as somebody who watches a lot of television, admittedly, I enjoy this show in general because I love originality. I love the concept. I love the way that it's shot. But a network show to have as much legs as this one has had, you know, given where we are in streaming, that's like an awesome thing to have.
It's very rare. We're so grateful for our fans. We're shooting season 5 right now with a commitment to season 6 to come, and who knows, you know, what more in the future. But yeah, we know how lucky we are. And also, we're all kind of theater nerds. So we come from, you know, that school of just doing ensemble work. And it's also rare that a show on network television has a main cast of 10 people. So it's very exciting for us. We're having a blast. And I think our love for the show and one another really shows in the product. So I'm delighted to hear that you watch it and love it. Thank you.
Of course I do. Now, I have questions about the show, but you mentioned something that I want to ask about, because the theater, this is where it all starts, right?
Yeah.
I love live performance and I love watching it, but sometimes I feel like for an actor who's used to the stage, because what are you trained to do? Project to the back. Everything's big, right? Like we want everyone to know and see. And then when you get in front of a camera, the camera picks up everything so small. It's more micro emotions than these macro ones. Did you feel that change at all, going from like a theatrical background of any kind or theatrical acting to television?
It felt kind of seamless to me, although in all honesty, I have tended to play rather large, you know, occasionally arch, misunderstood fancy ladies. So that's. But I've also done my share of, you know, gritty, you know, realistic kitchen sink drama type stuff too. But I think you just, you know, you tell the truth and you listen, you know, as generously and with as much curiosity as is possible. And you know, you fill the frame that you happen to be in. And if it's in a large theater or a large stadium, it's that. And if it's, you know, just a relationship with the camera and the other, you know, cast members in the room that you're in, it's that. But yeah.
But did you feel, I guess, you know, when you get into television and film, coming off of Broadway, if you're doing something like, you know, when you're playing Lady Macbeth or whatever the case might be back then, you didn't feel like there was a different learning curve? Because it's a different muscle, right? Isn't film and television, it's a different muscle you're stretching.
I think, you know, more than anything, it's a different set of, you know, traditions and things and expectations and technical requirements that, that are expected. And that certainly takes a learning curve. And I was lucky enough, I don't think I've ever told this story, but the very first movie I did was Pollock with obviously magnificent Ed Harris, and Marcia Gay Harden played his wife. Lee Krasner. And I had the scene out at the Pollock estate, and I was absolutely terrified because I just didn't know if I was going to know if I was doing it right. And Ed was directing, he was kind of directing in character as Pollock. And Marcia turned to me at a certain point and she put her arm around me and she just made me feel welcome. And anyway, she was very generous of spirit with me, and it made me feel very much at home and like I could relax and just listen and play. And that's an example that I've taken in my career and in my life as just a way that I like to comport myself and the kind of sets I like to be on. I think our Ghost cast is really, really good at that. We've heard from many people how welcoming we are. It just makes the work better and the day sweeter if you welcome people into your home. Anyway, I got that experience, luckily, very, very young coming into film and television, and I'm grateful for it.
Yeah, and that Pollock cast, I mean, there was a lot of heavy hitters, if memory serves me. I think wasn't Val Kilmer in the movie, and there's a few people.
I think he might have played Koonin, yeah.
Yeah. Jeffrey Tambor. I remember.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Pollock in a while, but I remember. Yeah, that was a heavy cast, and also. You spoke about it with Ghost, and when you've been on shows like whether it be Sex and the City or The Sopranos, big shows that people know that already are established unit, right? They're already a train on the track and going.
Yeah.
Coming in as a guest actor, you do want to have a sense of comfortability, but you have to get it rather quick within whatever the 10-day schedule or whatever it might be.
It's a very particular and intimidating skill set. And, I'm a journeyman character actor and have been for over 30 years. And so most of my experience has been that thing, stepping into someone else's house and just hoping that I feel permission, and welcome enough to feel free to do my best work. So, yeah.
So let's say The Sopranos or Law and Order, one of these. But okay, let's do with Sopranos, which is they call it one of the greatest shows on television, and for my money, it is, right?
Yeah.
No, when you go into there, like what is your mindset? Do you just want to say, okay, I have 2 ears, one mouth, listen twice more than I talk, or is it like, hey, I want to bring something unique to it. I want to elevate what's off the page. I don't know. What's the mindset?
Well, I have a funny story about The Sopranos because that was, I think, Sex and the City was the first television job I ever booked, and Sopranos, I think, was the second. And everyone in New York wanted to be on both of those shows. And that was back in the time when there was no self-tapes from home. You were sitting in a room, cattle call, with 50 other actors, nervously memorizing their lines and hoping that, the audition room door wasn't paper thin so you weren't, freaked out by whoever else you heard inside. And so I went in and I remember I played, oh boy, the assistant ASUDA. I was putting Johnny Sack away, and I remember, David Chase said, I want this to feel very much like you're reading it. It's not performed. It's this indictment. It's this long thing. And so, I got the job, and I had this brilliant idea, like, okay, he wants it to really seem like I'm reading it. I'm not going to memorize it. This is a genius idea. And of course, it backfired horribly because, of course, the DP kept on having to say, okay, yeah, but can you hold the paper a little bit farther away from your face? And I'm like, yeah, but I really can. So that's another great lesson that I learned. And it ended up being okay. But boy, I really had to sweat through that one. Like, be prepared. Be as prepared as you possibly can be for any possible thing to go wrong so that you can have freedom. And so I have a couple of bumble it up stories like that from my early 20s where I wasn't prepared in the way that would have suited me the best. And now I am hyper prepared.
Okay, before we get back to Ghost, let me ask you, okay, Sex and the City and Sopranos are your first two gigs. Everyone in New York's wanting them. This is HBO when it's becoming HBO. I mean, it was something before, but these two shows are what launch it into the stratosphere. And you booked those as your first two. Do you think, like, oh, this is just how it's going to be? I'm just going to get on the biggest shows in television, just every audition I go on.
No, and mind you, these were not major pivotal roles. These were... And again, I worked downtown, like dance theater in the basements, like just hoping the Village Voice was going to come and give us a review. I mean, deep downtown theater actor is where I come from. And so television jobs at that time, I just thought of like, can I pay my rent? Can I try to pay my rent? Is this something that'll get me more than one day's work? And so I don't think I had any delusions of grandeur back then. I just was happy to be working at all and to be able to tell my mom I was doing on something that, didn't require her to go sit in a basement to watch on the Lower East Side.
Now, was there a particular show, like either TV or some of the film work you've done, when you speak about your parents, like, or your mother, was there one that you said, "Hey, Mom, guess what show I'm on"? Did you ever have one of those moments?
I mean, she's still, and I am lucky enough that I have both of them and they're in their 80s, Ron and Sally Wisocky, and they're
God
still
bless.
the first call I make. And I'm so grateful that they're around to take that call and they're my biggest fans. And they drove me back and forth to play rehearsal when I was a kid, countless hours, drove me up to New York to see plays and to take classes, drove me upstate New York to go to theater camp. They just, they're, I'm moved by my relationship with them, constantly humbled by their support and their capacity to understand how to support a weirdo artist kid in the middle of Pennsylvania. So I don't know if there's one major call. I think it's every single call because the delight in their voices is like the best joy for me.
So, how does Ghost land on your radar? Like, how does this come about? How did you find yourself in this show and in this universe? Playing Miss Woodstone.
Well, I mean, terrific casting directors, Tanis Vallely and Elizabeth Barnes, who had cast me many times before in LA, sent me this script and asked me to come in and read. And I read it and just instantly knew that it was like a sweet spot for me. I mean, this is the kind of pocket of character and period work and kind of dialect. And it's everything that I love to do and that I think if I do say so myself, good at doing. So I came in, had a great meeting and got the job. So that's how it, came
Easy
my
like
way.
that. But okay. So you say you like working in the periods and stuff like this. I was talking to Judy Greer, another wonderfully talented actress recently.
She's so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's great in everything, right? And we were talking about getting into character. And one of the things she brought up, and she's the first actor I've ever talked to who actually said, that's when I feel like the character. Some people say, I wake up in the character or when I get the set or when she said, as soon as I put the costume on, that's when I
Uh-huh.
lock in. As soon as I go to
Yeah.
wardrobe, that's when I feel like I'm in character. For you, when do you feel most like you're in character? What's the moment?
Well, costume is worth discussing on this one because we're all, as these 8 major ghost characters, doomed for all eternity to be stuck in the same outfit. And mine is not a comfortable one, but it is very helpful for me in terms of the character. I'm in a corset and a full period accurate gown from the 1800s. And so, and a big hair piece. And so that really does do a lot to help me get into the character. But traditionally also the kind of the music, like the way the character speaks, not even necessarily an accent, but the kind of the way in which they express themselves. And music is the best way that I can think of to describe that. Once I have that right, then I feel locked in.
Well, what's good about Ghost too is that you read sometimes you see a show and everyone kind of talks the same, not accent wise, but everyone's dialogue is just kind of the same, whether it's medical jargon or a legal procedural. Everyone's character sometimes doesn't feel as individualized as it does in Ghost, to where everyone's dialogue, if you understand what I'm saying, like everyone's
Yeah, I do.
dialogue seems
Uh-huh.
uniquely them, and
Yeah.
that's such a gift to have in the writing. The writing of the show is so smart in that
It's a
way.
testament to the writing. It's also a testament to the original concept, which was created by the Horrible Histories gang for the BBC. If people haven't watched the BBC version of Ghosts, it's its own thing. It's the original of this idea that has now been franchised to many countries across the world. But they are fantastic and set up this premise that you could have a comedy in which people from literally thousands of years of history in their own particular countries could interact and bump up and problem solve with one another. And Joe Port and Joe Wiseman in our writers' room came up with this particular gaggle of ghosts from fraught periods in American history, who of course will have their own points of view and who of course will have their own dialects and manner of speaking and mannerisms and things like that. And so yeah, it's a great. It requires the thing you mentioned. So thank you for bringing it up.
Well, also in an ensemble, God, there's so many moving pieces, and you have to
Yeah.
think singularly. You have to act collectively, right? Like you have to all be on
Uh-huh.
the same page. And especially in a comedy, I remember Jason Alexander remarking about Seinfeld is they were always in tune with each other and going, "Hey,
Uh-huh.
you know what? This joke actually doesn't make sense for George. If Elaine does this, it'd make more sense if she says it. Then Kramer could come in and do this." Do y'all look out for each other in the similar thing when you're reading through scripts?
100%. Like just the last episode that we did, I had a line in which I thought, the second half of this would be better if Pete says this. And like, can we try, hey, Richie, let's workshop what this would sound like if like I start saying it and then you finish the line. Or we're all, there's a lot of give and take. Again, we come from the theater, so we know what it means to keep the ball in the air. I know when like the best thing that I might do in a given moment, the funniest thing that I might offer is how to make the person next to me look better. You know what I mean? How to set up their joke, or just to give a look out of the corner of my eye, or where I might be standing in relation to them physically in the room. So we all speak that language, and it's very useful for this kind of comedy.
Yeah, keeping the ball in the air and almost making everyone look better is
Yeah.
almost more satisfying too, right? It's the old Johnny Carson principle. He would I don't remember one Johnny Carson joke, but I remember him always laughing at whoever was sitting on the couch, right?
Yes,
And
yes,
always
yes.
kind of
Yeah.
bigging them up in the same similar way. Now, when you take on this role or any role in particular, what's like the prep work like when you get the script? Say you get one for Ghost for the next season, you look at the first episode. Are you a note taker? Are you note taking on the script? Are you kind of acting it out loud? Like what's process number one for you?
Well, like I said, and with Ghost in particular, the cadence of the way in which this character
Yeah.
spoke very obvious to me right off the bat. And so I had that, but then also I think we all kind of became armchair historians for our own like little Ghost period. And I do love doing research. So I did a lot of that. And the writers are very interested in hearing our pitches. They always want to sit down with us in between seasons and hear little things that, are what our heart's desires are in terms of different interactions, different couplings of characters or storylines. And I'm always throwing crazy little tidbits at them about what people were doing in the Gilded Age, and the weirder the better, or they're open to those pitches. So research is what I like to do. I don't do a lot of note taking in the margins.
Right.
Yeah.
To have that ability though, to have the writer's room go, "Hey, what do you want to do?" I mean,
Yeah.
how often do you find that? Normally it's like, "Hey,
Yeah.
this is what we just slaved away on. We'd really appreciate you following our words and our story." But to have that collaboration, that's probably why the show has had that legs that it's had.
And there are a lot of great improvisers in our company, like
Yeah.
truly great trained improvisers. But, make no mistake, we do also get it word perfect. Like this is not, once we get the scripts, there's room for discussion and those kind of things and pitches in advance of the season. And also once we get any given table read script. But then once we show up and shoot on the day, it's not a free for all. It really is, by design, something very specific.
In this medium, coming from theater, what I like about going to theater, right, is you have the instant audience feedback, right?
Uh-huh.
You know if the joke worked, you know if it landed. In
Yeah.
television, you have to wait to know if the joke
No,
worked
not
or landed.
necessarily, because we
No?
also have a really, really funny game, super talented focus crew, most of whom have been with us from the first season. And so when the A camera op is like kind of like chuckling behind the camera, you're getting it right. Or when you make someone else in the cast break, or we all we delight one another. And so you know when something's going to play.
So you feel it on the set. You know, like
Yes.
this is working.
Yes, 100%.
See, I feel like working, especially in like single camera, you would be like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know if this." Well, I don't do your job, so I'm just trying to figure it out in my head because I feel like that instant audience feedback is like the best thing for a theater actor, right? Because like you hear the applause at the end of the night. It's so nice.
It's a different kind of high but that is a thrill for sure. But this is also equally thrilling, I gotta say. And yeah, we do know we know when something works on set. But then of course, you're in the hands of the editors and everything else for it to come together and them needing to cut for time and all those things. But I think some are better than others, like with any product. But I think on the whole, I'm very proud of the show.
Oh no, this, like I said, I mean, there's a reason why you just don't get 5 seasons. You know, like it just doesn't happen. Especially Rebecca. I don't know. I can't remember a show. Well, obviously there's such a unique concept, but just a show that's had the legs like this that it's had. I just in this streaming age, right? We're used to limited series now. Maybe it's 10 episodes and then we're gone. Y'all have done 75 plus, Rebecca. I mean, it
is an actor's dream, and the fact that it happens to be also such a delightful personal experience is just it's kind of, I think it'll probably end up being the job of my life, you know.
You really feel that way?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I certainly hope it's not my last job.
Yeah, sure.
but
Unless we get season 6 and season 60, right?
Right, exactly. Well, I mean, I'm able to squeeze in a couple of things on during the hiatuses, but just to say, it has been an absolutely joyful last 5 years working on the show with these people.
It has to be, because it's a joy to watch, you know, and to me, shows like this, originality based on the BBC show, but the original concept of this, I think, is what, if people haven't checked out Ghost by now, what have you been doing? I don't know what they've been doing.
Well, Rebecca. I think there might be, you know, I think something just came out that showrunners just sent us that I think numbers wise this season we're the number one comedy on network television with I don't pretend to understand the algorithms by which they judge all these things, but we're doing very well. Thank you very much. And I think a lot more people, you know, we can stand to grow our audience into some people that might have presumed that they think they know what we are, given the fact that we're a half hour on CBS, you know, on Thursday nights at 8:30. And I encourage people that haven't checked out the show to give us a chance.
Yo, they should. And you know what? And I guarantee that they're going to love it. Like, I've enjoyed this conversation with you, Rebecca. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Here's my final question for you. This is a hard one, right? This is always a difficult one. But
the rest weren't easy, but all right.
It's a rainy day, right? Mm-hmm. We're at home. There's nowhere to go. We're going to put on one movie. The movie we're just putting it on because this is where we're going to be for the next 2.5 hours. What's your go-to? Like, my go-to movie, no matter what, is Back to the Future. I'll watch Back to the Future every day of my life. Do you have that one go-to movie?
I don't love watching things more than once, if I'm quite honest.
You don't? Really?
I don't.
So we don't read books more than once. We don't do TV shows more than once. So that's interesting. Do you have a favorite actor then, or actress who you like to visit their projects?
I'll be honest with you. I suffer from the particular psychosis of when asked, what is your favorite of anything? I have an universe breakdown. I don't know. I like lots of stuff.
Throw some out for me.
Oh, you know what? Okay, I'll give you a movie because it is one of the few movies that I've watched multiple times because I happened to, for some reason, be obsessed with it when I was a teenager, which was Valley Girl, which was my discovery in Nick Cage being a genius. And which, can we agree?
Yes, he's amazing.
And that was my first that was my introduction to Nicolas Cage. And I have seen all of his movies since. And I have, in fact, watched Valley Girl multiple times.
I just saw him in it was a movie I think called The Carpenter's Son. It just came out like a week ago.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
It's a horror film, but what I love about Nick is sometimes his best acting is when there's no dialogue from his character. You can see him think in the best of ways. Do you know what I mean by that?
That's always the best acting. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. He's amazing. And I could talk to you for much longer, Rebecca, but I want to be respectful of your time. Ghost comes on CBS and at what time can people see it?
8:30 CBS and Paramount Plus Thursday nights.
Paramount Plus, by the way, for my money, the best streaming service out there as well. So much great
stuff.
Well,
I'll pass that along to the good folks over there.
Please let them know. They have my seal of approval for whatever it's worth. But Rebecca, I really do appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Brad. Be well. I enjoyed it.
You too. Thank you, Rebecca.